We'll start first from what is exactly the PLM means, and
Mhm.
we'll deep dive into Oracle Agile PLM. So basically, this PLM is made up of three words, okay? Product, then lifecycle, and then management. Okay, these three words itself has their own meaning. So basically, product is nothing but a something meaningful which solve a purpose. Okay, so today we are going to see this PLM and Agile overview. Before we go into the PLM definition, we first see individual words definition like what is product, what is life cycle, and what does management means. Okay, and once these three comprises, that will define a actual meaning of product lifecycle management. Okay, so basically, product is something which gives a meaningful result or which solve a meaningful purpose. For example, here I have shown some pictures over here. So for here, aeroplane is a product. Okay, and product is nothing means it should not be something like that. Okay, what we are using on daily basis or what we are seeing, that only could be the product. It could be anything which solve a meaningful purpose. So here, aeroplane is there. Then two wheeler. Then we have windmill. Even a medicine can be a product. Okay, and walkie-talkie and all. So there could be a number of like products which are useful for solving some purpose. Okay, second word is after product there is a life cycle. So life cycle itself is a big topic. However, in terms of like PLM constraint or PLM subject, what we are comprising in the life cycle is all the products which belongs through a certain life cycle. Okay, and that life cycle has different phases. So for example, here we have shown sales, its sales versus versus time graph. Okay, so as eventually we start a building product, or rather once we launch a product, it will be under introduction phase. So whenever we launch a product, we just introduce that to the market and try to spread across to the expected audience. So that belongs to the introduction phase. Once it reaches to certain level, the growth phase start. Growth phase is actually where target audience are aware about the product, and also our product is product market fit. Okay, so once that is done, uh, that particular product will get the growth phase where sales also rise, as well as sales also rise in an exponential manner, as well as the like research and development, that phase will get reduced, because under the introduction phase, whatever the feedback we get, so that we implement, and during the growth phase our product is most of the refined version. Okay, so that is where this growth phase is. So introduction, then growth, then comes some maturity. Okay, so any product have this particular life cycle. So let's say for an example of Maruti 800. Okay, it launched maybe in 8080. Okay, but till 20 till yeah till 2000 it was on the peak. Like whosoever was able to afford, those people were able to get those able to buy that Maruti 800. So and in 80s it was under introduction phase, but in 90s and 20s it was like it was like under growth phase. But after 2000, like it goes into the maturity phase where the sales get stagnant, right? So sales get stagnant, and we are not able to see the much uh, growth in the sales perspective, because there are other important other factors as well. Like Maruti has launched other their models, also the competitor has come. So in terms of individual Maruti 800 life cycle, that phase was a maturity. But when we talk about the auto sector, it was a growth phase, right? So that is how like product to product or sector to sector life cycle matters. So in maturity phase, what exactly happen? Sales little bit decline or may remain stagnant, and there is no as such uh, research and development happen. Also, uh, we are expecting some uprevisation or any new product launch instead of the current one. So that is how this maturity works. And then the last phase, which is decline. So in declining, sales will drastically reduce, or rather, product will on the verge of discontinuation or obsolete or end of life cycle. Okay, rather decline, after decline, it will result into the end of life cycle. Uh, so these are different terminologies depend on like business to business what they use. Some might say that it is obsoleted, some might say end of life. Uh, so all this depends on business to business. So under decline phase, sales will get drastically reduced. Also it depends on the also it depends on the business to business how much time they take. Okay, earlier the businesses was taking longer time because there was no competition, no digital era, so end of life was taking a long time. But nowadays, like since it is way fast, or like these cycles also reduce, then competition is also huge, and different competitors, new age competitors are coming. So this end of life phase is drastically reduced. Whatever we have shown in the graph, that was means we can correlate to some older time frame, right? Because nowadays every year we can see that phone companies or electronic companies, or rather any organizations are launching their new versions or upgrades or new models itself, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, so that is how this decline phase has been reduced. Now what we can see is the introduction phase as well as growth phase. That is somewhat in a like 45-degree angulation, where people are focused more on the marketing while doing the introduction, and eventually it result into the growth phase.
Mm,
So something like a triangular shape or 45 degrees Celsius in the upward direction, and same thing in the downward direction we can see in terms of life cycle in the current scenario. So this we have seen like product, life cycle, and management. So basically management nothing but anything we manage in like a systematic way, or rather we set some SOPs and do some process, right? Any process that we follow with the help of SOPs or standard way. So that comprises under the management. Now what exactly all three words become a product lifecycle management, which is one of itself a topic or rather subject which we are going to say. Okay,
mm,
so exactly what product lifecycle management means, it is a business activity of managing company's product, right? So under PLM we manage a company's product. Not every product we manage under PLM field. It is specific to that company's product all the way across its life cycle. Since its introduction to decline, we manage all its life cycle into that PLM application itself. And in a what way? In a efficient and effective way possible. Because on the paper, like when there was no PLM, at that time also we were managing the life cycle of a product, but in a different way or unorganized way. Maybe some departments individually they were managing, and it could be possible that they were not even categorizing these life cycles, right? But since since there is an introduction of this PLM application or phenomena, we were like dividing that particular life cycle into different phases, and those phases are managing in a efficient and effective manner. And all the information, like let's say for an example, a product has compliance information, quality information, cost information, or bill of material, or a manufacturer, supplier, any information that we are managing under this PLM application. So it comprises all the information throughout its life cycle in an efficient and effective way. Okay, so that is nothing but this PLM is. Okay, now
Yeah.
what does PLM? Yeah, so what features does this PLM has? It enables companies to accelerate product innovation and also maximum profitability. Yes, so this is absolutely correct, because what happens, all this information we manage digitally, and to replicate that, to update it, to do some modification, we it is very easy for us rather than the convenient way. If there was a paper and pen concept, so it would be very difficult to launch a new product, or rather doing some validation and getting it approved from various departments. But now, since all things are getting managed under the digital application, so that is getting very easy for us to manage it. So we are going to see that, like how this complexity has been merged into simplified way in PLM, but that is how it enables. And also because the time period, or like all organizations, sorry, all departments are getting together into the getting comprised into the PLM application. That's why profitability also increase in various way, by reducing the cycle time, by reducing this paper pen work or manual work. Also there are less workforce is required, because individual responsibilities will be assigned in the application itself. So that is how it enables company to accelerate product innovation and maximize the product capability. Okay, and how it does is through the management of information, through the management of information, process, and decision about their products. Okay,
Yeah.
because under PLM we are managing the information, we are following the processes, and we are taking we are doing the decisions in terms of like approvals and all these things. And how we are doing it? We are doing it throughout the product life cycle and across the global product network. So whatever the departments are there, and whichever the phase in the life cycle that particular product belongs to, that we are managing. So that is how this PLM features work. Now
Mm.
this is how what I was explaining earlier, that let's suppose there is a product and there is a product manager assigned. So what we can say is, if there is no PLM application over here, so lot of like vendors, outsource partners, regulatory bodies, joint ventures, suppliers, customers belongs to this. This will involve in this particular product launch. Same thing as a part of like internal or department or organization, there are like program managers, relevant sub engineering managers, product managers, sourcing managers, quality, sales support. All these departments or components, and these are external bodies required to launch a product. And product, for a product manager, it is very difficult to handle it rather through uh, like undigital way, or rather in digital way, in the form of like Excel or documentation,
Mm.
um, without having this PLM application. But if we are going to see this, like how with the help of PLM we are making it synchronized way and most effective way. But what all information we are is at stake when there is a, I mean, in the PLM application. So for each product there has been lot of information which comprise with, right? So let's say for an example, from the product point of view, all its design documents, product material and specification, then bill of material, BOM details, whatever the test result we do, or whatever the analysis we do in terms of like finite element analysis. Okay, so all this related in product related information, then manufacturer related information, what are the manufacturing process, its drawings, its routings, whatever the validation report or whatever the conventions they follow in terms of manufacturing process. Okay, also with the quality information, what all quality plans or operation procedures, their standards, all these things are managed, need to manage, and these are at stake if we are not organizing in a efficient manner. Other documentations are also there. Apart, like I have mentioned only one, but rather there could be more, like non-essential documentation or any other documentation which product manager think that it is important to manage, to launch a product or maintain a product throughout its life cycle. Okay, and while doing, like, this is all about the product, but while doing new product development, lot of things also required from the scratch. So technical design documents, market assessment, risk assessment, operational and quality strategies, then engineering orders, validation strategies, design and development plan, product authorization, design and verification validation. So these are the informations which we want to manage, or rather we need to manage before launching a product. So that information also need to manage as a part of, like, this PLM process. Also, whenever there is a product and if it is comes under a regulatory, there must be some regulatories for each and every sector, right? So those regulatory information also need to manage in order to get it compliant to the process. If it is compliant for the WEEE or ROHS or whatever the uh, compliance procedure we are following, that need to be compliant, and those documentation strictly we should maintain in order to launch the product, right? Then the ECN data and the supplier qualification data. So likewise, we do managing the manufacturer data, we manage the supplier information as well. So what all prepared or qualified suppliers are there, their electronic procurement and all. So all these things we manage under the uh, we manage as a part of, like, product introduction or rather product launch, and these are at stake if we want to like launch or make a product market fit into the uh, market. So
Mm,
that is how, mm, like, a concept, or rather that is how there is a need to manage all this information in a single component, where we can manage all this information in an effective way uh, under the under one roof. So that is how this PLM comes into, and PLM, under PLM there are various applications. So that we are going to see in upcoming slides.
mm,
Okay. So these, again, these are some, like, yes or no, or benefits of this PLM application, like what is the current and future product environment, like explosion of new products. So as you see, as I said, like every year companies are trying to bring a new products on their own to, like, attract users to buy new and new products and increase their revenue. So that is how they want to reduce their life cycle and launch more and more products in a shorter duration, right? That is what the next point is. Like, companies want shorter product life cycle, shorter product cycles and their lifespan. Why? Because if a phone runs for 10, 20 years, then there will not be a revenue from one customer for 20 years, right? However, if the product life cycle or product life itself or launch cycle is reduced, then customer will get attracted, or rather they are bound to turn into the new product, right? As for an example, like Apple has their strategy, like after 5 years their phone get uh, too much slow, or rather they will get incompatible for few applications, right? So people who are using a old version of iPhone, they are bound to upgrade their phone either to newer iPhone or to other technology phones like maybe Android or any other OS system, they would be able to, they want to pursue, right? So that is how the companies are getting strategy, means doing strategize to reduce the product cycle as well as their lifespan. Then accelerating rate of globalization and outsourcing. Yes, because nowadays in a like tough competition era, we don't want to manufacture each and every component from our side. What rather we do is we just become specialist in one field, or rather whatever the fields or whatever the areas we want to, and procure it or outsource the other things. So for example, I am a manufacturer of pen. Okay, what I will do is I will specialize, I will do my expertise by in designing the pen, it's designing the cap or body or whatever the mechanism I do have. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
however I am not compliant or not expert in the manufacturing of refill, because it does have the ink and compliance information. So what I could do is I will outsource that particular product and
Mm.
reduce the life cycle. So today's era is like collaboration and outsource from the um respective vendors who are expertise, so that our product will get also better quality and reduce the life cycle. So that is
Yes.
how current market is working. Also, there are acquisitions and integrations happening, like more complex products to the portfolio to manage. So what means, this happens from long time. This is not a new thing which is happening. Like all the similar kind of or similar nature companies are getting merge or acquisitions happening if they want to, or they have their strategy.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
And there is another aspect to have all these things are like technology evolution. So every day new technology is coming. Earlier we used to work on the mainframe or the black window. Nowadays no one, or rather very limited resource work on that. And new technologies, new languages, uh, like now the era is of AI, ML, all these things comes on. So technology evolution is happening in a rapid manner. So that is also a factor to consider while doing the product development. Now this is something which are the questions in case we don't manage this PLM application as a part of one stop solution. Okay,
Mm.
so these are some question. This is the product manager of a product, and he get a lot of question. Do I meet global compliance restriction? Can I respond to customer changes? Am I solving the recreating quality issues? Can I deal with supplier changes? Because if you say this question is regarding the product governance and compliance, this, can I respond to customer changes? So this is something which is quality related issue, right? And also this is also quality related issue. This is supplier collaboration thing, right? uh, are any program issues being resolved? So this is something change related stuff. How can I leverage my supplier? This is again supplier collaboration. Are, did we design for global supply and cost? So this is cost related module, right?
Mm.
So
Yes.
these are some different departments, and product manager will not be able to manage it on their own, or rather in the documentation. So it will be very difficult for them to have a one bigger picture for any certain product, whether they are compliant, they have all the stake information with them or not. So these are some business issues if we try to manage our own product, or rather the product are getting complex, so all their information in one stop or at one place, and which eventually leads to the profit leaks, right? So if
Mm.
we are not managing something in a better way, then definitely there will be some uh, repercussion to that, right? So this is something which are like in design phase we plan the margin for that particular product. But these are some uh, these are the stages of product launch, right? So during the design phase, if there are like limited reuse, because we are doing on pen and paper or rather individual sheet, so we will not be able to reuse them, correct? Also the part and supplier proliferation and desperate resources, okay, high material cost, then lost in intellectual capital. So all those things, all these particular issues will lead to reduce this margin whatever we plan for, right? So
Yes.
that so that is how the expected and actual will get deferred, and eventually impact the profit of that particular organization. So all these things, like what it is indicating, there is a need of an application or there is a need of one stop solution which will solve all these purposes. So here comes the PLM. Then what PLM, whatever we have seen as of now, those are like challenges which a product manager face, correct? And that particular all challenges are tried to recover or cover through this PLM applications. So what does a product lifecycle management enables? It accelerate design through its reduced lifecycle. If we are managing it in a efficient way, then it will definitely reduce the cycle time. Then it will also reduce the development and supply chain cost through the product visibility and control. Yes, definitely, because we will have the visibility of a particular project throughout its development phase. Also, the supply chain will also get uh, designed in a efficient way so that we will have all our control for that particular product. Also, the third point is drive product quality improvement and achieve the environment compliance. Since compliance information is very important. Let's say for an example, we are a manufacturer or we are a and company of a ball pen manufacturer. So ink gets directly in touch with our body, right? So that because of it we need to be compliant, that if someone or like let's say someone puts that in mouth or someone swallows that, so it should not make or harmful to our body. So that is where we need to be compliant, that it does not contain hazardous substances like lead and other components. Okay, so these compliance related information, quality related information, so all these things will be managed under PLM, so that eventually get benefited. Okay, and this PLM application, what does it do? It starts from concept to retirement, like concept, then it will go to the design phase, then prototype and test phase, then it will eventually get launch, release and ramp up, then volume production, service and maintenance, as and then retirement. So all these things will get managed under the PLM application.
Mm.
What will be the key takeaways for the PLM is PLM provide a single system of record for a company's product. Okay,
Mm.
so and that is a very big takeaway. Second thing is PLM provide information required to maximum probability throughout the life cycle, throughout its product life cycle. So since we are able to see through a bigger lens, we will be able to know like where we can optimize the process and increase the probability. So that is a bigger advantage in the PLM application.
Mm.
So these are two takeaways which comprises companies to use this PLM, because using PLM also cost to them, right?
Yes.
So there must be some difference, sorry, there must be some difference in between managing it manually or managing it in a digital way. So that is the reason enterprise applications started using this PLM applications which are currently available in the market.
Mm. Yes.
Now we understand like what exactly the PLM is, what uh, disadvantage of managing all these product lifecycle product information in a like manual way or rather digitally but unorganized way. Then
Mhm.
we have seen like what exactly PLM does and how it benefits if we use the PLM. Okay, so all these things we have seen for the PLM. Now all this PLM concept, few companies have built their on this all PLM concept. Few companies have built their own application to you to use it and to benefit the enterprise applications, enterprise companies. Okay, so for example, Siemens has their Team Center application. Okay, PTC has a Windchill, then Dassault has Innovia. Okay,
Mm.
Aras Corporation has Aras PLM. Similarly, Agile Corporation had Agile PLM application. But
Mhm.
now, but after in 2008, Oracle has acquired that company or Agile PLM, Agile Corporation, and because of that, Agile is now Oracle Agile PLM. Okay,
Yeah.
and that is what we are going to see or we are going to try to understand its concepts and all its details. So there are different applications, different PLM applications. However, we are going to focus on Agile PLM only. Okay, so as we know that every PLM application is an enterprise PLM solution. Similarly, Agile is also an enterprise PLM solution where
Mhm.
we collaborate with ERP, CRM, and SCM. So these are also an important entities for any business. So ERP is like a source of truth for all the information. Then CRM is also needed, and as well as the SCM is also needed. So all this uh, get integrated with Agile PLM and has a capability to integrate to the Agile PLM in order to do the new product introduction, product innovation, and the order to fulfillment. Okay, so Agile PLM basically has the capability to get involved this ERP, CRM, and SCM, which are three main components uh, to like run a business or to have end-to-end life cycle, for any product. Then what exactly we maintain under Agile PLM? So though we said that we manage all means complete information for required for any product. However, we are going to see what exactly we are managing under this Agile PLM application. Okay, so this is the Agile PLM platform picture, and here there are different, these are some different components under that what all subcomponents we are managing. So for example, portfolio information. So under portfolio information we are managing program, schedule, resources, and what are the deliverables under the under any project. Okay,
Mm.
then related to design information, schematics, CAD diagrams, softwares, design reviews, all these information we are managing under design information. Purchasing information, we are managing pricing, parts, BOM, and its cost, and also price related activities. Okay, then supplier information, we are also managing the approved vendor preference or status and their availability. Then manufacturing information, basically the bill of material, which is most important thing. Then manufacturing instruction and revisions, all those things we are managing, we are maintaining under manufacturing information.
Mm.
Then service information, so corrective and preventive action, kappa, you might be heard about it.
Mhm.
Kappa means corrective action, preventive action.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, so that is related to quality stuff,
Mhm.
uh, audits, uh, all those things are related to quality. So corrective actions, then field instructions, then service bombs. So all these things comprises service information. And
Mhm.
then compliance information like regulatory, whatever the compliance we are following, standards, audits. Okay, so all these things comes under compliance information. Okay, so all this. different sort of information or different departments which are involved to maintain this information are managed under Agile PLM. So earlier we have seen there was lot of mess happen to this picture, right? So
Yes.
now since we introduce or launch this try decided to use this Agile PLM application, so this gets more in a synchronized way or rather structured way and made so much simplified. So we are managing all these value chain associates like customers, supplier, joint venture, vendors, outsource partner into the Agile PLM with using different components or objects. Okay. Similarly, we are involving program manager, engineering managers, all these managers or departments with the help of their workflows, approvers, or having their own defined attributes or objects. Okay, and all these are linked to the product which we are being trying to launch or maintain under the Agile PLM application.
Mm.
Okay, so everything will get integrated with the help of this Agile PLM, and that is how system will get benefited or get rather simplified to manage a product information. So till now what we have seen is definition of PLM, then what are the disadvantage of managing it manually or rather digitally unorganized way. Then we have seen how PLM benefits if we are trying to use that. Then we have seen like what all different PLM applications are there in the market, and then we'll come into the Agile PLM where we have seen what information we manage under Agile PLM, how it get integrated with uh, different modules or different components of the enterprise company. And now what we are going to see is the components which are there in the Agile PLM application. So these components are nothing but the modules. Okay. So
Okay.
very very important module is product collaboration, Agile product collaboration. Okay, which comprises complete information of item, bomb, documents, all these things. Okay,
Okay.
so this is what we are going to see. Then regarding like there are different types of information we manage. For example, compliance information or its project portfolio management, drawing information, quality related information. So all this information have their different model. So for example, quality related information we manage under quality management. Governance information we manage under product governance and compliance. Project related or portfolio management information we manage under Agile product portfolio management. Drawing related information we manage under engineering Agile engineering collaboration. All the visualizations, like for example there are CAD diagram, so we want to view that, so that comes under Agile visual enterprise. Okay, and whatever the cost information is there, so that will manage under Agile product cost management. So in all there are seven components or seven modules we do have under Agile PLM. Okay,
Yes. Mm.
out of which these all are like relevant to this product collaboration. Okay, cost management, quality management, product governance and compliance, product portfolio management, because all this comprises on the item or bomb, right? And
Yes.
that belongs to this product collaboration, and that is where we are going to focus on. Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward, and since you are having some knowledge of PLM, so
Yes.
it will be easy for you to understand.
Mm.
And this is just for the information, like there are lot of companies which are using this application. So approximately this is maybe a old data. Okay, a year or so. So around 1800 enterprises application customers are there. Okay,
Mm.
all across its division. So for example, automotive, so we have different clients which are using Agile PLM. Aerospace industry also use this Agile PLM application. Consumer packaged goods, electronic and high tech, industrial product, and life cycle. Okay. So these
Yes.
6 sectors have been divided, which are using this particular Agile PLM application. But
Mm-hmm.
in practical, the left hand side uses uh, more of this Agile PLM application. Basically, the life cycle, life sciences, industrial products, and electronics and high tech.
Mm-hmm.
Under electronic and high tech, you can consider the semiconductor as well.
Okay.
So these sort of companies mostly use or rather dominate this Agile PLM application. And as I said, like, or rather we know this PLM application get integrated with the ERP systems, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Irrespective of the PLM system, whether it is a Innovia, Windshield, Team Center, or anyone. So these eventually get the integrated with the ERP system, and the product line or production line uses the ERP as a source of truth. Okay,
Mm.
so Oracle, these are some clients which use different suits. Okay, the combination of Agile and Oracle apps, that means EBS. Okay, so on
Yes.
the left hand side, you can see companies which are using Agile, Oracle Agile PLM, and EBS system as a part of like suite. And on the right hand side, you can see Agile along with the SAP, which uh, is a which will make a complete suit, and these are some companies which are using that sort of suit, or rather
Mm-hmm.
that sort of combination.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is again just for information, nothing to know, like remember or something.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's all about the like PLM overview and
Mm.
also the Agile overview. So we
Yes.
have seen like information definition of PLM. Then we have seen what all the disadvantage and all about the
Mm.
PLM. We have seen advantages which overcome all these disadvantage of PLM. Then we have seen different sort of applications present in the market, where in which we are focusing mainly on the Agile PLM. Under
Mm.
Agile PLM, we have seen it has a capability to integrate it with all the enterprise applications, whether it is order to fill, SCM, CRM applications, or ERP applications, or supply chain applications. Okay, then we
Yes.
have seen different modules which are present. Basically, 7 modules are there, um, and heart or core module is Agile Product Collaboration. We call
Yes.
it as a PC. Okay,
Yes.
and that is what we are going to see.
Okay.
So, so this is all about our first session, just introductory things.
Yes. Yes.
Then tomorrow we are going to see the Agile product collaboration. We will deep dive into the Agile PLM product collaboration model. Okay,
Oh. Yes.
and not only we will see Agile product collaboration, but we will see some basic concept of this PLM application as well, PLM field as well. Okay,
Okay.
not
Yes.
specific to Agile PLM, but complete PLM field.